Welcome back to Designers, Plants, and Coffee. I am Zahiyya along with LaTisha from Keeping You in Stitches and Naima from Fearless Threads. Today we're going to be talking about collaboration over competition. So we're going to start it out by how we got started doing this podcast.
So this is how we actually got started over brunch, conversation, jokes, really just discussing the collaboration and how long we've been in this industry and the stories that we can tell and the lessons we've learned in our businesses. We've been fans, followers, and of each other's brands and supporters.
I mean, it goes back even farther than that. We've been each other's cheerleaders for years. I mean, we were really, really kids when we created this friendship and this bond. So it almost seems like a natural progression to turn to something that we can all do together.
And all of us are in different areas of the business, so a collaboration really made sense. I mean, I design, LaTisha and Naima both teach, but Tish is into technical design and Naima does it all. She sews, she has her own business. So it's just like it made sense for us to get together and do this because in collaboration, you can also big up your people. So it's not just you doing it alone. Why do you think people are so competitive and don't want to necessarily share the space?
Because they think it's not enough when it really is. It really is. There's enough businesses, there's enough opportunities to go around. It doesn't really make sense to me, in my mind. It doesn't make sense to be competitive with someone. Like, I can collaborate with someone and we all can come up together.
Also goes into trust. We had something built into our friendship before we joined the collaboration. And now, with social media and content creators and influencer, everything is like, let's collaborate, but they don't tell you what they're doing for you. I see so many posts on social media. Oh, hey, who's a fashion designer that wants to dress me? Well, how much are you paying? Collaboration is more than just saying, hey, I'm going to shout you out on social media, because we can do that for ourselves. At this point, a lot of people are already established. So they really don't, unless you are walking a red carpet as an A-list celebrity, your shout out is not going to do more for me than what my own personal shout out is going to do. I really think it goes into who do you trust? How does collaboration work? Just like for us, we didn't just come together. We really had to think about it and talk about it, and we'll, in full transparency, contract for our designers plants and coffee brand, right, along with the rest of our businesses. This is a business for us too, so it's not just our friendship and we got together and said we're going to have a good kiki on camera. We said, hey, we're going to make this a business and we're going to sign contracts and we're going to work at it together and get guests. I mean, just it really is a collaborative effort for us.
And that brings me to like a question. Why do you think there's so much fear in collaborating? I mean, I know Tish, you mentioned it a little bit, but I mean, why do you think there's so much fear around it?
The one thing people forget that this is a business and to have agreements and contracts signed in the beginning, because sometimes people change. If you don't have a contract to go back to, then it can ruin relationships. Plus, if money, the love of money, is so strong that it will make you do something that the other people that you're collaborating with would not actually like, then hey, is that in the contract? Can we talk about that? And different things. Really, yeah, you need to have a contract. You need to have an understanding of what you really want to do.
Back on that and say, you got to commit to something like this. It's not something, a collaboration is not something you can do when the mood hits you. You got to meet deadlines. You got to meet, you got to talk. I know a lot of people want to text everything, but you might have to jump on the phone or jump on a FaceTime or something. I mean, it's a dedicated part of what you do. You can't just say we're going to collaborate and then meet on the day of the event and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, because it's going to fail. I think people don't even realize the commitment involved with collaboration. either. So
What do you think are like red flags to look out for? Like if somebody wanted to do a collab with somebody, what would be like a red flag to say, no, I don't want to do it with someone?
a lot of times people will ask you to collab, but they don't tell you what they're bringing to the table. It's like, dress me, send me things, I'll unbox it for you. What are you bringing to the table that's going to make this a collab and not just a sponsorship? Because those are two very different things.
And I mean, and just to piggyback off of that was that was going to be the next question. Is it's like a collaboration is mutual beneficial. Basically, both parties are getting something out of it. Now, what you said, a sponsorship is when either you're getting paid for something, and and that is the exchange. But the collaboration, both parties are gaining something from it. So if you were to go approach somebody about it, you can't just think about what I'm getting out of it. You got to approach it like, why would this person want to collab with me? So, on that note, how would you go about, reaching out to somebody to collab with them?
I would say for me, looking at what my vision is and what my vision for the future, the products that I have, looking at that and then looking at the other person to see if they actually match or do they complement each other, because it really doesn't. I mean, you have to think about it also in the terms of collaborating for, let's say, apparel and licenses. If you have an apparel line, but you're going to a shoe manufacturer, it's like, may not been the best collab. Why don't you try an apparel manufacturer? So you really have to see, do your visions complement each other? Really?
Either your values, like I don't want to collaborate and do something for a designer and I don't agree with what their values are. And that's not to say I'm better than them or that they are I am undervaluing them. It's just that we don't have the same set of values, so we are not going to probably want the same end goal or reach the same end goal because we don't have that commonality that's going to make this a successful collaboration.
Yeah, and I would just add to that is just especially online, you have to look at your audiences. So basically, what customers do you serve? Because if I'm selling, apparel patterns and someone else is selling, what toys, it doesn't make sense. Like if someone was just getting started and they wanted to do a collaboration with like one of you, what would you be looking for? What would make you want to collab with someone?
For the aspect of education, since I've taught on university and college level, or also for 3D, someone that is actually getting into 3D and they're trying to introduce it to their students or to some of their companies, how 3D can be utilized in fashion.
And for me, I think it just has to make sense. I think my time is valuable because I have so little of it. I like to joke with my students that, hey, you guys know I got 47 jobs. So if you send me an email, you got to give me 24 hours, right? And so it will have to be something that A, makes sense, B, is not a waste of my time. But as LaTisha was saying, I'm always ready to give back. I don't consider that a collaboration. So if somebody asks me to come and speak to their kids at a career day about getting into fashion or something like that, I'm happy to do it if it fits in my schedule. Now, if you think that I'm going to come into your school system and teach a whole class for free, that's not happening. That's not a collaboration and that's not a volunteerism. That's a job. So you just really have to, especially in this world of scammers, full transparency, I was scammed in doing an event, and to the point where I had to really dispute this claim and fight to get my money back. But it's just so easy to get caught up in something that is not right for you or is a scam. So I would say be very selective.
So basically, I mean, just in conclusion of what we're talking about, it has to feel right for both sides. And the way that you reach out is basically with that in mind. Say, I am so and so. Like, say, for instance, you're writing an email or, a DM or something like that. You would start off with, I can help you do this. Offer your services first. Don't just say, oh, you can do this for me about, because that doesn't fit well. Because, I mean, if someone wants to approach me and say, well, can you do this? It's like, no, that doesn't really vibe. It's like, what can we do for each other? And I think that's how you should approach it, however that is, through email, DM, or phone call, whatever that is.
Something beautiful can come out of a great collaboration.
So, any last words that you would like to say to the audience of anyone thinking about collaboration?
Do your research.
And I think the one thing that we did not touch on is get everything in writing. Get a contract. For as long as we've known each other and as long as we've worked together, we have a rock solid contract that everybody has signed that will not hurt our friendship should we not want to collaborate anymore. So spell out everything you want. If you want to have an out clause, if you want to get paid to leave, or if you have to get all of that in writing. Contracts matter, contracts stick. Contracts are going to be what saves your collaboration and your friendship.
Everybody has to be on the same page. I wouldn't say everybody has to be happy, but everybody has to be content with the contract and going in it with a positive attitude, because otherwise it's not going to work.
Find yourself not being content anymore, that contract is going to be the way that you can leave it peacefully.
Okay, that is it for us. I am Zahiyya from Me Chic, along with
From Fearless Threads and
LaTisha of Keeping Your Stitches.
see you on the next video.